That'd be like probably $200,000 in $100 bills if they were real.
Hi.
Wait,
No?
I wasn't ready. Okay.
No? Okay. Hi, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Joseph.
And the thing about love is,
There's love and then there's money. How did we talk about money in relationships?
well, we didn't talk about,
No, we didn't talk about it. we just didn't talk about it for a while.
we didn't.
Everywhere I looked, the top like 3 things that ended up causing stress on people, money was,
Money.
yeah.
Absolutely. I could see that. They say that like money is like a major reason why a lot of people get divorced.
We don't have any magic formula that gives you more money. So we're all working at different levels of resources available to us. However, there is a way of thinking about money that can really either help and improve your relationship and the way that you handle money, or it can really drag you down, depress you, and damage your relationships.
I think a lot of people think of money and they start to automatically be stressed and down because
Yeah.
they're thinking of all the complications of money instead of thinking of what they want to do with their money in a value-driven way.
One of the most powerful changes in the way that you're framing your conversations on money, regardless of how much of it you have, is to look at it from a value standpoint. Not the value of the dollar bill, but the values that you hold as an individual and how that impacts the way that you think of and manage that money.
Absolutely. You get that money and you start to think like, how can this help me do what I want to do instead of how can I deal with this money?
You, at the time, were designated as our financial manager. And then when you would come to me and talk to me about it on my side, I felt like we only talked about money when we needed it or it was a problem.
Yeah, because that's when I needed answers. I needed situation problem solving that I couldn't solve myself.
So when she felt overwhelmed about it, then it would bounce back to me. And then the conversations on money were always revolving around problems.
Yeah, yeah. And that was not a very healthy way to handle that. And it caused a lot of conflict between us because it would make you feel like, all we talk about is problems. Can we not talk about the cool stuff that's happening? And it made me feel like, but I need your help solving this problem.
Well, the upshot of that was she stopped talking to me about money.
Yeah.
When we would try to talk about money, I would get stressed out. She would feel bad about stressing me out, and she would want to get as far away from that as possible. And then eventually it would get to where we had to talk about it. And by that time I was like, why are we not talking about this?
We talked about this a long time ago. Yeah.
Which is also a stressful way to react, by the way.
Absolutely. Don't do it that way, guys.
All you're trying to do is just stay alive. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people find themselves in that position financially where they don't think far enough ahead about their goals, as they feel like I'm just doing good if I survive right now.
And that's incredible. That means that many people are living month to month and stress to stress instead of looking at what's the big picture, what's the thing that I can contribute to the world.
The marketing companies and the advertisers, they're going to sell you a much higher version of your life than you actually need to feel fulfilled.
I listened to a lady the other day explain to me how she was a single mom and she was trying to get her daughter through college, and she has a younger daughter who's doing all these extracurricular things. And she said, here I was all fancy dressed up going into a business meeting. She said, but I parked at the back end of the parking lot because I had a beater car that was falling apart that may or may not start. And I didn't want them to see me going in or out of that car. She said, but she was like, but I'm making it happen and getting it done. And she was working hard towards her goals, but she wasn't at the time willing to go spend a whole bunch of money on a car.
Mother Teresa comes to my mind, and she lived with the super poor in Calcutta. She didn't have money, but she made such a difference in the world that you probably know her name. You could be in a remote part of the planet with very little resources, and you could be changing the world. Or you could be in the epicenter of wealth with all the newest gadgets and feel like your life is just meaningless.
Yeah. Having that open communication and being honest with your values, with what you actually have, opens up the possibilities as opposed to looking at it as negatives, looking at it as have-tos.
Stop asking yourself, do all my friends do this? Do all my neighbors have one of these?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, does this align with the values I have? Does this align with the way our family or our relationship is going? If not, be willing to let some of that stuff go in exchange for doing something amazing. And if that means you don't have a later model car, if that means you don't need a Netflix subscription, you don't. But you probably don't. I mean, let's be honest.
I think this is something that works whether you just got in a relationship or you've been in a relationship for like 30 years. Rediscussing those values is important. Coming back to that conversation over again, you can have these conversations and you can make your life a lot easier by just discussing these things.
You, whoever you are watching this, I immediately assume about you that given the opportunity, there are some things you'd really love to accomplish in the world. Some things that, if you could do them, would not only benefit you, but would benefit other people. So it's really important when you're going to discuss money to discuss how are you going to use this tool, which is all money is, to do the thing that you're driven to do that will better the world.
I think it's super important as you're thinking about bettering the world and doing the things that you would like to do and stuff that you communicate together about that so that you're on the same page and you're able to do so much more with what you have when you're working together towards a common goal.
It's such a game changer to sit down with a partner and say, let's look at what we have, not what we don't have.
Yeah.
Let's look at what we have and let's ask, what is the maximum good we could do in the world with these resources here? No, so if you're wondering why I have fake $100 bills, it is not for this video. It's because for photo and video work, I keep a bunch of fake money on hand in case I need to shoot money. Awkward pause.
Awkward pause.
That was me handing off the conversation to
To
you.
you, who's thinking through what she wants
Yeah.
to say, because I think longer.
You don't need more paper.
No.
You need more purpose. That's a good, we should make a book about that. Less paper, more purpose. Or more paper so we can have more purpose. Because I'm down with that too. I'm not against